Hi boys and girls, welcome to week 2 of our art class. We're gonna go straight into it. Before we get started on our actual art project, before you go and get all your materials, you should watch the video one time first and then you can get started. So beginning, we're gonna go ahead and talk about the materials we're gonna be using. You're gonna need some kind of color form of the colors, blue, yellow, and red. You'll need a black marker, black pen, or just a pencil, glue, scissors, 2 pieces of paper, pieces of white paper, and then a few pieces, maybe 1 or 2, a few pieces of different colored smaller paper. So let's say you don't have little construction paper or something like that. You can always take white paper, color it, and then have it. So I have about 2 pieces of each color. So 2 pieces of each color of these squares. So then we see that we have our materials. Today we're going to talk about an artist named Mondrian. And we've talked about him before, or if you haven't heard about him, you've seen him in my classroom. So in my classroom, we have that really big painting on the wall next to Miss Alsayed's coffee machine. And it has those very straight and geometric lines. And then in the middle, there are 3 colors. We see the blue, the yellow, and the red. And that really geometric piece is by Mondrian. Mondrian was a Dutch painter, and he really liked symmetry, and when things were very specific in one specific area. Now, he really liked colors, but he tended to stay with 3 specific colors: blue, yellow, and red, because they were the what? Primary colors. They were primary colors. So you can always go back and look at some videos. I'll put a link to a video of his life so you can maybe watch it with mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, whoever's at home. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So you're gonna grab your white piece of paper, the main white piece of paper. This one we're gonna put to the side for right now. And we're gonna create that Mondrian design. So I'm gonna get started. I wanna make sure that I have angular, I wanna make sure I have straight lines that are not like angular, not going all crazy. So I'm going to make sure that my lines are somewhat straight. If you forget, remember what was in Miss Alsayed's classroom. All the lines were kind of interceding, but they were all somewhat straight. So I'm going to use something to help me get those straight lines. So I can always use a piece of paper. If I don't have a ruler, I'm going to just use this marker box because I want to. So I'm going to create this little ditty over here. So I want a line going over here. A line going over here. A line going over here. Maybe a smaller one right here. Whoopsie. That took a turn, but that's okay. Maybe a smaller one. And if you're a little confused, you can always go online and I'll put some examples in the link box below. And you can always look at it and see the different types of designs he would have. Okay, and I don't want to put too much, but just a basic amount like that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in with my colors. I'm using markers today. You can use crayons, you can use colored pencils, whatever you want to use. So I'm gonna start, and I think I'm gonna start with one of my favorite colors, which is yellow. I'm gonna start coloring. Now, you're going to color the yellow in different spots, but are we going to color all the yellow in one spot and all the red in one spot and all the blue in one spot? No. We're going to make sure we even it out. So I'm going to go ahead, and because this is a piece of paper that has a lot of room, I'm going to use the side of my marker instead of the actual tip. I'm going to use the tip when I get to the corners. Now I have my yellow over here. Maybe I'll use this big one over here for the yellow. Whoopsie. You do want to be careful though when you're using your marker, because sometimes if you put the marker too close to the black, it transfers over, and that way you'll have a little bit of a muddy piece. Okay, I think I'm gonna add one more, maybe over here. And it's okay if it's not 100% perfect. Now, I have to make sure I hear the click. Let's go to my next color. Ooh, I love red. I love red so much. So, I think I'm gonna put one red right here. And it's okay if it's not perfect. Whoopsie. Right there. All right. Wait. Oh, as I'm saying, you can't just keep going. You gotta do another one. I don't know what to do. Do some blue. Some blue over here. And he would include some white in his paper. You know what? I want to make there be a little bit more red, so I'm just gonna, this is my painting, so I can do whatever I want. I'm gonna make another box just for the red. I don't want the red to touch the other part, so. And there we go. I have my little Mondrian piece. Now you might be asking, Miss Olsayed, what are we doing? You crazy cat lady, what are we doing today? Well, keep watching. I'm not gonna tell you right at this second. What you're gonna need now is your glue. So we're gonna take this and we're going to create a little, it looks like kind of like a roll of toilet paper or something. It's gonna come this way. So we're gonna take create this little cylinder, and we're gonna place a little bit of glue on the edge, and then we're gonna hold it down for 5 seconds. You can also put glue on the inside, and that might actually be a little easier for you. So I'm gonna take the cap off, put it in a safe place, and then place an amount of glue, and I'm making sure that my glue's not crazy. If you have bottle glue, you can use that too. Just make sure you don't put too much, just a dot, not a lot, because then it'll spill over and it'll take forever to dry. Now I'm gonna create my cylinder. It's kind of cool, it matches up with the lines. And I'm gonna hold it, and then I'm gonna hold for 5 seconds. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have my little cylinder. Are we making a hat, Miss Olsayed? What? Hear the click? Now, you're going to need your pieces of paper, the other large paper. Now, if you want to use color paper, you can use color paper. If you want to color the paper first, you can. I'm not going to. I like the color. We're gonna create strips of paper. So, we can use pencil for this. You're gonna create strips of lined paper, and you need maybe about 5. I would use about 5. If you wanna do more, that's okay. No more than 7. So, and I don't want them to be too thick. I want them to be somewhat thin, because you're gonna see, in a little while. Oh my goody goodness. Here we go. All right. Take your scissors, make sure you're holding your scissors safely, and we're gonna cut our strips of paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do 6 if you want, but I'm not going to. Don't worry about the lines on the paper. If they bother you a lot, it's okay. Go ahead and erase them, but it don't matter to me. So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna create a little design. We all did a project in the beginning of the year where we used lines, we created a sculpture. So what you're going to do is you're gonna take your paper, you're gonna fold back, just like we did in that sculpture project, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. 1 and 2, and a 1 and a 2. I'm gonna hold it for 5 seconds and let it go. That's gonna be one of them. So you're gonna do that for all 5 of the ones that you have. This is why it's very important for you to watch this video first, because if you don't, it might get a little bit confusing. It might be going a little bit too fast. If you need to pause the video to do each step, that's totally fine too. Oops. I'm gonna do these. Because I am magic. And this little project is gonna come in handy since it's becoming so windy outside lately. Hold, 5 seconds. Oops. It's okay if we're not completely. Push this one together a little bit. Okay. And my last one. And hold. Now, you have your pieces prepped, which is wonderful. Now we're going to use those different colored squares that we had or different colored papers. And I'm just going to do some simple shapes. You don't have to create really extravagant shapes. If you do want to, you can. I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shapes from these different colors. So I'm going to start with, let's say, red. And I want to create a shape. Now, this is the tricky part, boys and girls. You are going to need a shape that's going to attach to the end of this little paper. So it has to be the same shape on either side. I'm going to show you. Watch it, and then you can get started on it. So I'm gonna take the paper, I'm gonna fold it, and create the shape I want to create. So let's say I wanna create a circle. I'm gonna create my circle on the end of the folded part. I don't wanna create it on this part, because what happens if I create it on this part and I cut it out? You're gonna have 2 separate pieces. You always wanna make sure that it's on this end, on the side where when you open it after you cut it, it's the same exact thing. So I'm gonna create a circle. Okay, let's cut it. And it's gonna open up a little bit like a book. Let's see what happens. Same on either side. And the only reason it came out like that was because when I took my piece of paper and I folded it, I used the folded part to create my shape. I didn't use this side because I needed to cut it. If I would have cut it, let's say I made my circle out of this shape, if I would have cut it, look what would have happened. Whoopsie. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Look at what would have happened. it would have come into 2 separate pieces. We don't want to do that. We want to make it easier for ourselves. So you're going to make 5 different types of shapes. I'm going to make maybe a square. So if I want to make a square, I fold the paper again, and I got to make a square. And when you open it up, it's gonna kind of look like a rectangle. So I have 1, 2. Three. 4. And then let's do a purple circle. 5. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, put the rest of those scrap papers away. Whoopsie. You're gonna take one end, apply some glue on one side of the shape, place the shape right there, place the paper right on the shape, include some glue on the other piece, on the other side, then hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, cool. Got one right there. Same thing, take your glue, place a little bit on one side, place it in the middle, so I'm gonna place mine right here. Place some glue on the top of the other side, fold it, and on this side, here we go. Take some glue, place it. Okay, flip it over. Okay. Take some glue, place it. All right, now we have our little pieces. We have this part. You are going to take one side, place the glue on the top of that, not the opposite corner, not the one we just did, but the opposite end. Only glue on one side of that paper, and then looking on the inside of your cylinder, you're gonna place it in and hold for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. You're gonna do that all around for the rest of them. So when I was saying, oh, you could do 5 pieces, if you wanna do more, you can. I just did 5 because it would be equal. They would be spaced equally. And they don't all have to be the same length. Maybe you want to stretch out some of the other ones. Oops. Oopsie. All right. Okay, some more glue. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And then the last one. Whoops, got stuck together. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. All right. So now you have your little cylinder with all these little strings out here. Miss Lil, say it. What are we making, lady? You've been talking. You haven't told us one time what we're making. One last step, boys and girls. You're gonna need that paper that you were using before that had the strip of paper. You're gonna cut one more strip of paper. And you can make this strip, I wouldn't make it too thin. I would make it maybe the same size as the pieces that you had used before. You can make it a little bigger. You're gonna use glue on either side. I'm gonna need glue on one side over here. Place it in the middle. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Glue on this side. Oopsie. I'm so sad. On the other side. Lord of mercy. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And now you have a little wind chime. It's not gonna make the same noise as a wind chime, but in the wind, it's gonna be able to move, and it's inspired by Piet Mondrian. So go ahead, get started. I wanna see pictures if you get finished with them. Remember, watch this video first. Watch the video first, and then you can go and get started. So again, remember your materials, I will write them down. End the video, I'll include some links if you wanna know more information about Piet Mondrian, and go have fun. All right, bye-bye.